Manole madness. We're going home. We're going home, and I actually think we're gonna do stuff at home. We're not just gonna be fatso status and
Yeah.
sit down and watch TV. I mean, I'm gonna try and get my desk clear
Yeah.
so that I can get more work done. I might rearrange some stuff in the house.
Well, nice. I wish you could get you a cadenza that has all these slots inside, so
Yeah.
you can easily just put stuff in there,
I'll work on
and
it.
have one shield so the cat don't get in there.
Sure.
Because she
I'ma
likes
work on
crawling
that.
into spaces.
I'm gonna work on that.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, she likes crawling
Maybe like
into
door, like
places.
a sliding door.
I'm gonna see what I can do. But we just came from court, and
What did you learn today from?
what I learned was there was a couple cases that really got me interested because this is district court, and most of it is like credit card companies versus so and so, right? So I think 80% of the cases are people working out payment plans with the credit card companies.
Right.
So all they do is, did you receive the documents, the complaint? Yes. What's the status? And there's a payment plan, that we're working on. Can we, what do you call that? Extend, or what do they call that?
Extension.
Yeah, or revisit, or whatever they say.
Right.
Reschedule for 3 months.
Right.
For another update. And I'm thinking, if I was them, I would just want to settle it. If I'm on a payment plan, that should be the end of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Why are we gonna come back in 3 months? If there's an issue, then they can bring it back. But that seems to be like the
norm.
theme, yeah. But okay. The other 20%, it was interesting because one lady, well, two ladies actually, that was there. One we've seen many times, and the other one was brand new to me. Although you said you saw her before there. The blonde curly hair lady, the tall one. She was wearing the one. The one.
Whoa.
She was the one. The one that when we were sitting down, she went to the bathroom and she came out.
Oh yeah,
She's really tall, blonde, curly hair.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
I don't think I said I've seen her before.
Well, somebody said she's
wasn't me.
So.
Yeah, because I've never seen her.
Yeah, to me it was the first time, but she's the one that was really adamant about doing trial that day.
Right.
So.
And she was right.
Yeah.
She had it. She had it down pat.
Yeah, and so, and her.
She had the opposition on the heels.
Her other half, I don't know if it was her boyfriend or her husband, but he was all smiles too, and he was like shaking
I kept shocking.
his legs.
I made shocker to him.
Yeah, I saw him look over to us too.
Yeah.
But so hers started when you went to the bathroom, but it was I think it was like a landlord-tenant dispute, because the opposition was, hey, that's our truck. The opposition was saying that he has proof that, he was able to go into their house.
Right.
And stuff like that and all that. And apparently the opposition was saying that the lady was saying, no, Your Honor, they've had delay tactics for months now.
Yeah.
And they've gotten an extension for this, an extension for that, and now they didn't have all their paperwork, together and stuff. So he said, I just obtained an attorney, and stuff. And she told him, Your Honor, he's had more than enough time to obtain an attorney if that's what he felt like he needed. He didn't say anything about it the last time we came to court. He asked for an extension.
You saw his tactic. He said, I talked to Miles Bryner.
Yeah, this morning.
You know why he did that, yeah?
Yeah, because then he knows that that's a big name.
Yeah.
So the judge will know, and then the judge will, try to give him leniency.
Right.
And so that's why she made the point. She stood up for herself right away and said he had more than enough time to obtain an attorney. You know, he didn't have to wait. This is again another delay tactic that he's doing.
Right.
And so, you know, then the judge had asked him if he received that, like they're talking about exhibits. He
Right.
said, no, you know, I'm going to extend it one more time, but that's it. You know, I'm going to put in the minutes or whatever that this is the last time. He needs to come with everything. And so he told the guy too, he said, whether your attorney shows up or not, if he doesn't show up, you're going to represent yourself, you know.
Right.
And he goes, okay. He said, now, are there exhibits? And so the lady had this folder, like one of those, like, you know how we put all our birth certificate and all that inside? She had one of those and it was this thick.
Wow.
She had two of them, actually. And so he said, the judge said, do you have exhibits? And she said, yes, Your Honor, I do. So she asked, the judge, he asked the guy, you know, do you have exhibits? And he said, well, I'm not an attorney, Your Honor, so I didn't know that we had to do that. So I don't have any exhibits.
Hey, if you go represent yourself, you
Right?
gotta know the rules.
And so he said, I'll ask, you know, my attorney and stuff like that. He's away for the weekend, but when he comes back, I'll ask him. And so he said, okay. So he asked the lady, you have your exhibit? She goes, yes, I do, Your Honor. She goes, I have one right here that I can give to him today, and I have a copy for the court too. She had two
was
of
ready.
those folders.
She was ready.
And so he said, okay.
That's what I like to see, that
Yeah.
right there.
So she gave it to him
Yeah.
right then and there. She gave the bailiff, and the bailiff gave it to him. And I heard him grab it and said, "Oh shit," you know. And he put it down because it's huge. It's thick. And she
Yeah.
was like, she tried to fight too. She said, Your Honor, I'm gonna demand, you know, I want to object to what he's saying. I don't want any more delay tactics. I'm ready for trial. I'd like to go to trial today. You know, and I was like, wow.
Well,
Right
that's how to
on.
do it.
Right on. But he
And
gave
you know,
him one more chance.
when you're constantly on it like that,
Yeah.
that right there is empowerment.
Yeah.
That's what empowerment looks like,
Yeah.
right? And you know, people who only playing games on the other side,
Yeah.
it's only a matter of time before the thing blow up in their face.
Yeah.
You know, and then if you're able to show that they was doing bad faith the whole time,
Yeah.
the court might let you slide one time, it might let you slide two times. But you know, 3 times, kind of hard for let
Yeah.
you slide.
Because now it's like, what's your
Yeah,
excuse
bad
now?
faith. Yeah,
What's your excuse, right?
you know.
So he was like not prepared, and she definitely had one over on him. And you know, in order for her
Isn't it
to
a beautiful
get to,
thing to see that?
it is. And
That's what we do.
and I know that's what I mean. Like I know that's when you teach her classes and stuff, that's what you're doing. And for her to get to the point that she was today,
Right,
I know for a fact she had to get educated on the law. She had to, you know,
read the rules.
read the rules and stuff like that. And so that is really where maybe she self-empowered. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whereas you're teaching people because you have to have a process to
Right.
get to empowerment.
Right.
The other lady, we've seen her in court many times,
Mm-hmm.
and she was kind of giving it to them too, you know.
Right.
And she cited to the judge, you know, I follow the rules, I follow the process, you know, and it's not my fault. After that, like I hand it to the courts, and it's the clerk's job, and it's the judge's job,
Right.
you know, and all that. Well, she was assertive too, so we can tell too, because she was talking about due process.
Yeah.
She was talking about all these things, and I was kind of like,
Yeah.
oh, she knows terms, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So she's good. The only thing, like, I'm not, you could critique her more than me, but the only thing I would say is I didn't like how she stood in court, because it was a little cocky to me,
Right.
you know, like when he was talking, she was like, you know what I mean? And then every time she would speak to the judge, she would turn around and walk with her hands on her hips, like, you know, I'm
Right.
pissed, you know, and you could tell, like, she didn't stand at the desk nicely,
Yeah.
you know. So that's the only thing I would try to tell her, because she looked hostile.
Yeah. I just try to get people to be humble
Yeah.
and be respectful to the court and not be so emotive.
Antagonistic or
You know what I mean?
something.
Not-
Yeah, because she did look. So I remember your teaching, about just stand there, be humble, assert yourself, but don't show anger, right? So don't fight with it. And she was kind of combative with the judge,
Right?
and so, but he was really nice. She's lucky that she got a
Yeah.
really soft-spoken judge.
Because the bottom line is, judges are human just like us.
Yeah,
You can be right all day long and still be wrong.
yeah,
And wrong meaning you piss somebody off just out of the sheer power struggle thing that comes out of that. The judge will always win that battle.
yeah.
He may not win the war because you can't appeal. I've been through that, right? I was helping a guy fight his criminal case. I went through the discovery and I was able to put together a real strong thing. The problem is that the guy had a fucking attitude problem. 9 foot 3, that's lovely. And
Like how you just snuck that in.
and it's the way that he presented himself. So this was a Maui judge, and the judge told him straight, "You're right. You get all the good grounds. You can win this case, but you're not gonna win them here. You're gonna have to appeal."
But he already knew he was gonna win.
Yeah. And you know what they got? They got 5 years out of that guy. It took him 5 years to go from that court to the appellate court and get him come back again
Was it just because he was cocky?
because of his attitude.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And I cannot help him. You know what I mean? That's why I emphasize in classes, you gotta be respectful to these courts. I'm a native Hawaiian, I'm Kanaka, right? As a Kanaka, we are aloha aina to our queen. Queen Liliuokalani is our queen. She's still our queen till this day, and we're still loyal to her, which means that we are loyal to our country, and we don't accept America and America's authority over us and all that, right? Having said that, I'm not so blind and ignorant to know that the political structure that controls us today, which comes from America and taken over by the state of Hawaii, they have the political power right now. And unless and until we have a military or a mighty force to stop them from doing that, we're under their authority.
So you have to play their game.
So because we're under their authority, and they profess, this is where I get problems with the hypocrisy, they profess that the rule of law is the governing authority. I say, let's go for it then. Let's go learn what the rule of law is. And let's go fight them using their own rules and their own laws. And let's do it with aloha, with aloha, kapu aloha, right? You talk about kapu aloha, you cannot talk about kapu aloha only when you're winning. You need to talk kapu aloha even though you're losing badly. Still stay in your heart aloha. And that's what I try to teach, to empower our people so that we have a fair opportunity. It's only a matter of time before the beast will rear its head. The nasty beast who profess with one side, yeah, it's the rule of law. Unless it's against us, then fuck the rule of law. We're gonna do whatever we like and fuck the Hawaiians. You know what I mean? Because one of the best things that America has ever produced, as far as its history as creating a democratic republic, is that they created a Declaration of Independence, which is the guiding principles for the Constitution of the state of the United States. and all its laws. And why do I point to the Declaration of Independence? Is because there's a clause in there, there's a statement in there that says that when the government becomes too big for itself, that it no longer is representative of the people can break it down and rebuild it into their own ideologies, right? And so that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the revolution to happen. In order for us to be able to engage in the revolution, we gotta be able to prove definitively that all three branches has failed us and they are corrupt. In America right now, the Republicans, the mega crew, they get the upper hand. They control all three branches of government, right? So they're gonna have their revolution. Their revolution is coming, right? One side gonna end up prevailing. But here in Hawaii, we've already been able to demonstrate that the legislative branch, despite their beautiful words to Hawaiians, that is enshrined in our laws and in the state constitution, they have never practiced that. And they effectively find ways to stop us from achieving that goal of self-determination, self-governing. The executive branch has also done the same thing to us. Turn a blind eye, turn a blind ear, and done the same thing. You know, I gotta give Josh Green credit. He kind of making some inroads with us, right? He's appointed awesome people to lead his departments. That's allowing us to get some breathing room, right? But he's only one guy that's only going to be there at most 8 years. And I'm hoping to be there to support him for his next term, because I think he deserves that. He has demonstrated to Native Hawaiians, at least, that we matter. So I'm good with that, right? But overall, the executive branch has never been a friend to us, right? They've used us, but never been a friend to us, right? And now we're fighting in a judicial branch. And this is where the last bastion of any ray of hope that America will live up to its principles will be demonstrated. And so far, they're getting an F grade because they're not doing right by Native Hawaiians. You know, they say, oh yeah, Olelo, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the Olelo is just for you to, you can say whatever you like in Olelo, but, you know, you gotta tell us what it means.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, you go hire one. They're making the interpreter be for us. No, the interpreter should be for you, because you don't know what I'm saying, right?
This is where empowerment of the people
Right,
come into play.
right. You know, and so we get in there, and then of course they talk about the rule of law, but as soon as the attorney on the other side against the pro se litigant makes any kind of excuse about why he cannot follow by the rules, even though they just send you in the docket a notice to pro se litigants that you are required to follow by the same rules that the lawyers is required to follow by.
That's another thing that lady, the first lady, said.
Right.
She quoted. She said, "Your Honor, I've followed all the rules and all the rules of law
Right.
up until this moment, you know, and I've done everything that I could. You know, the other side has not.
Right.
You know, and she made it a point to say that. And you
Right.
know, the other thing I noticed that you teach, and I didn't like when you were being that real hard, you pretending to be the judge
Right.
to Yvonne them. What I didn't realize is you kept asking her a question and she would answer the question, but she would go on this journey and you would stop her, right? You
Right.
say, no, answer the question. Just answer the question. The
Right.
judge did that several times to that lady,
You see?
right? He asked her, did you, I don't know what it was, did you send them or did you file this or whatever?
Right.
She said, I did, Your Honor, but and then he stopped her several times. He said, that's not what I'm asking. Answer the question. He said
Right.
the exact words you did.
Right. Answer the question.
Yeah, and her answer was yes.
Yes.
right? That's it.
Yeah.
That's all the judge wanted
Yeah.
to know.
We're not talking about all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. You know, cases get dragged out because
Yeah.
people wanna they watch Perry Mason.
Yeah.
They watch legal shows. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, all that is just Hollywood.
Yeah.
That's Hollywood. You know, there's no catch you by surprise, we're on surprise witness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all
Or-
Hollywood.
Even how they say it, we've been in the courtroom
Yeah.
where I've seen, Your Honor, I object.
Yeah.
And the judge is like, what are you
It's not a
objecting
trial.
to? And
Is this a motion, bro?
yeah, and what are you objecting to?
Yeah.
Well, I object, the way they did this or that, and the judge is like, that's not something that you can object to. But they were really passionate when they said it, like
Yeah.
the TV, Your Honor, I object. You know?
Yeah, this is not Perry Mason, bro. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
So people just gotta relax, learn to do it the right way, right? And the right way is follow the rules,
Yeah.
right? Learn your subject matter. Make sure you got your evidence, not what you think is evidence.
Yeah.
Learn how to introduce your evidence,
Yeah.
right? And a lot of times it's tangible stuff you can produce, a documentation that prove your point.
Get all that.
Certified copies, and they all gotta be certified copies.
Yeah,
You-
somebody made a point to say that, I forget what it was. That
Right.
they said
Uncertified.
incomplete, not evidence, but incomplete discovery.
Right.
And then they said it was not notarized, so it's not certified.
Right.
It can't be admitted
Right.
in court. Yeah. Yeah. I was catching all these, and the more courts we sit in for our clients, the more is like, I know we usually go for our clients, then we leave.
Right.
But the more I feel like I want to stay because I want to watch the other ones,
Yeah.
And I would really,
If
we
you
have
ever
time.
get, and I love that you're hungry for it, and that's what everybody should be. Hungry for learn. You're only gonna learn by seeing it practice before you.
Yeah.
You see them in court, and you're gonna be, oh, okay, I'm not gonna do that. Ooh, that
Yeah.
was bad.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
I am not doing that thing.
And then
Yeah.
like the lady with the blonde hair that was standing up for herself, she was like, I'm ready to go to trial right now, and then they scheduled it for the next time, right?
Right.
And it's scheduled for the 20th, and already as soon as I seen how she works, I'm like, I want to come back just to watch hers. I don't know her,
Yeah.
but I want to watch, how she operates.
Right.
But then on the 20th, we have something, and I'm like, oh, shucks, I find myself wanting to come to other people's trials
So-
to empower myself.
You can log in, right?
Yeah, so I did that before with
Right.
Richard's one. I just called, and then they just asked me,
Yeah.
are you a party? And I
Yeah.
said, no, I'm just here to observe. And they were really kind, and they said, okay, I'll just put you as,
Right.
like number or whatever,
Yeah.
not my name on there. So I said, oh, thank you.
Right.
She was like, not a problem,
Yeah.
So we can do that.
Just do that.
Yeah.
So we can be in two places at one
I
time.
really want to see her because she was really good. Like,
Yeah.
it was as if she was one of your students. Like, she went up there and did
See,
everything
I'm not the only
that you
game in town,
but she went up there and did everything that you teach, and I was like, wow, she's really good. And her
You
boyfriend
think
was
my students that was in the class caught on to all that?
yes, because Yvonne looked at me right away and she goes, wow, she's everything that Kalai wants. And I was like, yeah, I know she's really good. And when she demanded trial, me, Yvonne, I could hear Roland and Richard, and I heard her husband. We all said at the same time, good job, good job. We were all like rooting for her, and we don't even know her,
Yeah.
And her boyfriend, her husband, was sitting over there shaking his legs and
Yeah.
smiling, and he was like so
Oh,
proud
proud,
moment, proud
yeah,
moment.
yeah.
I was like, wow,
And I love it. I
Yeah.
love and I tell you, this can spread like wildfire. If
Yeah.
people would just get off the bullshit, stop listening to these guys that's out there giving you all these freaking legal theories that's out there. It's all a lot of it that's especially that's spread in the Native Hawaiian community. It's all bullshit.
It's like you said, there's no
You know,
teeth
oh, but
to
this
it.
guy is a professor and he said this. Yeah, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? But is he in court with you fighting this thing right now with you? No. I'm over there helping you. And if you're gonna want me to help you, you're gonna have to decide. You like go this way, you like go the other way. Because if you like go the other way, or you like blend the two, they're not gonna work, and not gonna happen. I'm not gonna be a part of you getting you to go in there sounding like a fucking clown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's the
I want our
difference.
people to win.
That's the difference. You're just the venue
Yes.
for you. It's like you translate what they want to say into court language,
Right.
so that they can get in there, right?
Right.
Say what they want to say.
Yeah. And have them, as long as you're willing to learn and you're willing to just study and all that, but you're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna be nervous. You're gonna have butterflies, and you might end up taking your cracks, but you're gonna be learning.
Yeah.
Some of the best lessons I learned was by cases that I lost, because I had to take a step back and say, why did I not prevail? Like the Supreme Court case that's in my name right now, right? It's on the books. It's a landmark decision dealing with due process rights for prisoners. I lost at the federal court level here. I won that issue at the Ninth Circuit. The state appealed it, and it was reversed. But it was reversed because of the violation of the doctrine of stare decisis. What stare decisis is, every case that comes before it is built upon the case every case now is built on the case before it, right?
Okay.
And I was correct on the law that existed at that time, which is why 4 of the Supreme Court justices sided with me, because I was correct on the law at the time. What the majority said was, no longer we will allow inmates to go down this path.
So they basically changed the
They
law.
changed it. They changed it. And the reasoning was sound. At first I was all habut. How come you rule against me? Hey, you guys all bullshit. But when I was able to read the ruling 3-4 times and research it, I could see why the court did that. 143, I love it. I could see why the court made that decision. 27246 Estadio Aiko Bebe. Bah, you're getting cracks all day. You realize that I'm winning all the numbers, and you're not. But no, I was able to come to terms of why I lost, and because I was able to come to terms and understand why I lost, what they did in that ruling was actually fine-tune the skill set of jailhouse lawyers to know how to bring the cases in the future.
See, so
While
you took that path.
Yeah, while it extinguished upwards of 90% of all cases in the United States at that time, I tell you, a lot of guys was mad. When that ruling came out, a lot of jailhouse lawyers was mad.
So you found your loophole.
Yeah, but what I was able to get from that was, okay, so they're saying you got to go down this road. Okay, since that time I've been down that road, and it's been success after success. It's been beautiful.
I think that's the difference.
I think that's why they wanted me out of the prison system.
That's the difference between, so we were talking about the other day, what experiences happen that change your life, right? So
Right.
it's moments like that when you get knocked down with something,
Yeah.
that you can either choose to stay defeated,
Right.
or you can choose to figure out why you were defeated and go around the leaf, right? Go around the leaf and find another way. And that kind of reminded me of our faith. I always say, it was in our darkest moments that we've had, our lowest or darkest moments, that
Right.
we found the greatest faith
Yes.
that we had, because we've been knocked down to where we've had 2 cents to our
543,
name,
honey, love you.
literally 2 cents,
Right.
Right?
Literally. 2
right?
cents,
And we're working our ass off to try and change that. But aside from that, we continue to get knocked down, because as soon as we work off, okay, we made $150, a bill comes in, $149, right? So now we have $1.02.
Yeah.
But we also had a lot of faith that faith without works is dead. And
Right.
we were still continuing to try. And then after we struggled for sometimes weeks, then God blesses us,
Right.
you know, with something. So it showed me that if we didn't have that faith when we were down like that, we wouldn't be where we were, you know,
Right.
where we got to. That's the same thing. Like, you can either choose, like, a lot of people will be like, yeah, I give up already. I'm not going to pay any of my bills. I'm not going to keep going, you know.
Yeah.
I just quit.
That's
But-
why you notice when I say something's gonna happen. Why? Because I believe.
Yeah.
I'm a believer. He's not gonna leave me out in the cold.
Yeah.
He's not gonna leave us hanging.
And right now, we're almost getting there to where we're scraping again, right?
But what? Look at the beauty of it. We're no longer this month alone so far. We never catch the invisible
Yeah.
okay money where
Yeah.
the thing was what they call that?
We're keeping up overdraft.
Yeah, overdraft. We never get
Right.
overdraft. We're on the verge of might be getting overdraft. Wow, something gonna happen that will get us
Yeah.
past that.
And you notice that a lot of time that when we go overdraft, it's not because, like, if we just took care of ourselves,
Right,
we would be fine.
right.
But it's because we continue to help others,
Yeah.
you know, whether it's
yeah.
like, okay,
and it
we,
takes money to do that.
yeah, you know, whether we need to put $50 gas into the gas tank because we
Mhm.
have to help our client in
Filthy
Waimanalo,
mud blood.
you know,
Demented.
that kind of stuff. That's from Harry Potter. Filthy mudblood. You know, that's why. But we continue to help others, and I believe that's why we continue to get blessed,
Yeah.
because
yeah.
we're not doing it for just
Yeah.
ourselves, you know. And we believe in our clients too.
Yeah. If we didn't expend the funds
yeah,
that we did that was there to just help other people,
yeah,
we'd be in great shape.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have any bills.
yeah, yeah,
But to me, it's more important to spend $40 on gas to go here, there, and everywhere to help who we helping.
yeah,
And that's mostly our cost is fuel.
yeah.
Fuel.
Gas, and then like
And I'm not giving up my truck because we need the truck.
paperwork,
Yeah.
paperwork and
Yeah.
ink and all that for
Right.
our clients, you know, and stuff. So
It costs us $600 just to buy a new toner
yeah,
because we got four different
Four.
toners
yeah.
that we need for our printer.
And it's, you know, it's worth it.
Yeah,
It's worth it, but that is most of our struggles
right.
is not for ourselves. And
Yeah.
we don't go out to restaurants and stuff
Yeah.
like that. If we
It's
do
been
go
a long
out,
time since we went to the movies.
yeah. As I was just talking about it, like our other vlogs and our fantasy dates,
Right.
you know, once in a while. But it's so expensive just to go to the movies, because
Yep.
I really can't go to the movies without at least popcorn and a drink. But even that,
Even if we eat
yeah,
before, when you stay inside,
you gotta have popcorn.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and it's like, I don't know how much it is,
And
but
then
just to go to the
something
movies,
to wash it down.
yeah, and that's still a lot of money now.
Yeah.
So we hardly do that, you know. So we buy popcorn and we watch movies at home,
Yeah.
you know. Only thing I'm missing is, like, I need a recliner like you, so that I can make like the movie theater, you know,
Yeah.
and have a recliner. But I don't want to buy one because we're close to moving on to Aina, and you know,
Yeah.
so I'm just waiting.
Yeah, I thought you was gonna pull out the Pune.
I know I was, and I was so tired. I just sat down. I took a
Why
shower,
you didn't just tell me? I'll go do it.
and I sat
said you just go
down.
do that, so I
You
feel,
were tired
okay.
that day too.
So what?
We
though?
both crashed.
Just tell me. Yeah, just go do that.
I'm not gonna tell you to do that if you're tired.
It don't matter.
It matters to me. But today, because I might reorganize and rearrange, I might do something with that.
Do a thing. You might do a thing.
Might do a thing or two things, but I'm getting tired now. I might have to take a little nap before I do a thing.
We'll do that one.
But we gotta eat first because I'm hungry too.
Yes.
And you know what I miss?
What you mean?
We don't have ice cream.
We don't have.
We have
Frozen yogurt?
No. We have
We're going right there. We can stop at the Moors right now. We can stop at the Moors right now.
Yeah. I'm calling in an emergency.
Emergency. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna stop at tomorrow's first thing. Yeah.
So then I think I have cones left. I just
Yeah,
they're
we
all
get cones.
empty.
And for me, you can save the cones for you. I'll go eat them in a bowl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm cool
enjoy
with
the
that.
cones. Grr.
Yeah.
I enjoy the cones.
Look,
But
people
you know
out there
what's
camping
hard?
already.
I enjoy the cones, but I love my sprinkles. So
Oh, look how big. They
I
get the
wrap
big
my
thing.
cone. I dip my cone in sprinkles,
Right?
but then when I start licking it, like all the sprinkles fall off.
You
So
lick
that's
it.
why, yeah, when I
Whoa.
the ice cream cone, then all the sprinkles start falling off. So I like it. And then did you see what I did with the sprinkles in the bowl the other day or last week?
Oh no, you.
I put sprinkles on the bottom of the bowl, and then I
Yeah.
put ice cream on top. And then when I was eating, I put sprinkles on the top. Then once I ate the top layer of the sprinkles, I put
Right.
sprinkles again. And I did that all the way till
You're
I
a
got
sprinkle
to the
addict.
I'm a sprinkleaholic.
Sprinkleaholic.
I am.
Yeah.
I have to admit that I am. That's my downfall. Just like cookies is yours.
Yeah.
Cookies and dunking it in milk.
Cookies in your ass.
Milk.
Oh.
See, that's another one.
What's that?
You managed to get my ass in the vlog. See? Something is wrong with you.
Crazy about you.
Something is wrong with you.
Nothing wrong.
Something's wrong. Think about it. Maybe it's like around here.
Over here?
Yeah, I think
Right
so.
there?
Yeah, right there.
No, I
That's
checked
the
out.
one.
I checked in with those guys.
You did?
Yeah, we're good.
Were those guys smoking pot behind the band room?
Yeah.
See? You
Huh?
see?
Oh,
That's
hey, look. 801,
that's what
821,
happens.
180. Those same numbers.
Yeah.
We're in a zone.
We in a zone. We in a zone to get ice cream.
You guys can go, bro.
They didn't get the message.
No, it's cheap out. People see the traffic moving, they're gonna sit there. That's why I want my train horn. I get my train horn, it's gonna be a happy time.
I don't think so. That
Huh?
thing would like be broken like 6 months max.
I don't think so.
Because you're gonna use it so often. Like it's gonna be on from the time we leave the house to our destination. It's constantly gonna be going off and then constantly going off.
Press the button. Wham!
And it
Press the next button.
oh,
Wham!
it's like an ambulance. That's where the woo woo is up there. It's up there.
Yeah.
So that's what you're gonna be like.
I get all these. I don't want nothing attached to them.
Yeah. Well, what are all those things for?
It's already preset inside it. So all you gotta do is hook the wire up to whatever you're doing, like
But there's
train
like 6
on,
of them.
or if you got lights, if you got lights inside there, so you can have a row. You know those row of lights.
Oh, like the ones you tried to order from Wish.
Yeah, all you gotta do is get somebody to wire. The thing is already set inside there in the box.
Oh.
So you just gotta connect to the box and then you can turn them on and it'll work. Floodlights, whatever.
It's too bad
this
you
gives you
couldn't
16
push one
that
of
you can-
those to get people out of the way. Like, doop. And then
Yeah.
you can. That's funny.
I will if you let me use my train horn. I have the train horn. Just gotta say, hook it up, and then we hook it up, and then it's go.
We have it in storage. But then
Yeah.
remember when you tried to get it, it's not just like hook it up, it's like a
Yeah.
whole freaking
Yeah,
journey.
there's a skill set to be able
Yeah.
to hook it up.
It is. So we gotta think about something. Do you think that we should work sometime this weekend and try to sell spam to bees at like the beach park, or to get some money
Well, we can see.
over the weekend?
We can
Because
see.
I don't know about selling. We never tried that actually at the beach.
What's that?
Selling plate lunches
Yeah,
versus
because the
you know,
beach. Now they get all the stuff going on over there. So the musubis and the sodas is the fastest
yeah,
because
but we don't know. Maybe our plate lunches is better. And it's
Yeah.
summertime now.
And then what's gonna happen if you and they don't come?
Then we're gonna bless a lot of people. But I mean, you know what I mean? It's summer now. I think we've never gone during summer, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's always been like regular time. So
Right.
summer might have more people.
Yeah. Well,
I
we'll
don't
give
know.
it a shot.
Yeah.
So we'll try.
One day I told Mom that I would let her know
Let the
because
Spirit lead us.
my dad's not driving.
232-262.
My
See,
dad
yeah,
gave up the
cool.
car now.
Yeah.
And she went to visit her friend the other night, the
Mhm.
last night she could.
Right.
And so I told her that if we're not busy this weekend, that maybe we could take her to go visit her friend
Yeah.
on the
okay.
weekend.
Yeah, we can do that. Anything for Mom. Anything for Mom. I'm good.
Anything?
Mom is awesome. I love you, Mom.
So we're at Tamura's now. This is my request. Usually I get down on him for his request.
5'3", honey, love you.
But we have no goodies at home. No goodies.
Can I go in there?
Go anywhere.
This parking space.
This one?
Yeah.
If you have a ticket. Do you have a ticket? No?
See, that's why I'm like doing that.
Yeah.
You gotta. Oh wait, somebody coming out.
Oh, there you go.
Oh shit! Oh wait, there's somebody behind me.
You can just park out here. You can walk.
I like space. I like having space.
You can take up 2 stalls and you can be in a picture. You'll be in a picture one day. Okay, so we're gonna go shopping. Shopping?
Shopping? Shopping.
We're gonna go shopping.
Oh, look. See. Hey, you did it.
See, I'm not a rookie anymore.
All right, everybody. Love, peace, and happiness, you know. Y'all, and I hope this was educational for you. I hope it inspired you or whatever. And we're just keeping it real and keeping it raw.
Yep.
Aloha.